Well, let's discuss these issues further with our Mogadishu-based correspondent, Mohammed Hirmoge. He joins us live now here in studio. Welcome to Nairobi, by the way, Mohammed. So the Somali government has been pushing for the lifting of the arms embargo, despite, of course, the allegations of diversion. Have they put in place any measures to deal with this diversion, as pointed out in the UN report?
Well, actually, the Somali government went to the United Nations, attending the Security Council meeting with the hope that once and for all there will be a lifting of the arms embargo that has stayed since 1992. But they didn't bring to the table issues, real tangible things to suggest that they deserve a lifting of an arms embargo at this particular time. Of course, there have been reports of systemic abuses, there have been reports of diversion of arms weaponry. And one thing the Security Council understand, and I believe must have been their base when they ruled that the partial lifting should continue until maybe October this year, should have been they understand the situation in Somalia today, which is discipline has been an issue for the Somali forces. We understand AMISOM have been training 700 Somali troops, and only 135 of them managed to pass out of the rigorous training in combat. That can point out a serious discipline issue. The other issue was, we understand just 3 weeks ago, 700 Somali troops have been retrenched forcefully for missing out on duty, absenteeism. They attend to their other businesses and they want to be in the payroll of the government. These are issues the Security Council understands, the international community understands. Plus, when the Security Council lifted the arms embargo in March last year, there were terms and conditions that came with that. First thing should have been a record, a tabulated record on what type of weaponry they bought and where did this weapon went and how. The issue has been accountability. And this is an issue the Somali Minister for Foreign Affairs, after yesterday's ruling by the Security Council, owned, and he said indeed they didn't bring the proper records. And when they were questioned by the Security Council and told them, on this date you bought this, where did this end up to? And on this date you bought it, doesn't appear on your records over here. Those are just inconsistencies in how the Somali government has dealt with the provision, the small provision they had in managing the small-time arms that they were told to buy over a period of 1 year. But now, looks like they've learned their lessons. The minister spoke yesterday and he said, indeed, between now and October, the next sitting, to decide on the fate of the Somali arms embargo, he's saying this time round, we're going to make sure that there are no such inconsistencies. However, he also allayed fears that there indeed had been diversion of the arms weaponry, which begs the question, where did the records, the missing records of the arms went to, if not to Al-Shabaab? Because the major rebel faction in the country today is Al-Shabaab. Right. Everybody there is either Al-Shabaab, the Somali National Army, or AMISOM. And it's not that AMISOM uses Somali National Army weaponry. It's only the Somali National Army armories. So, these inconsistencies have been here. And unless the Somali government really does something to stem these so-called diversions, right, this so-called sale of weaponry, and some of them earmarked for the top Al-Shabaab leader, for your information, Ahmed Abdi Godane. That's somebody the United States wants him dead or alive for $5 million.
Right, and let's talk about that, because there are reports indicating that the Al-Shabaab spokesperson has succumbed to injuries after a recent attack by the Kenya Defense Forces. Has this been confirmed?
Well, there are no confirmations to this. And I will say this is not the first time the KDF have made such a claim. Just a month ago, the KDF have said they have seriously wounded the top Al-Shabaab leader in one of their raids in southern Somalia, Jilib town. And for a fact, those of us in Mogadishu understand the Al-Shabaab leader is not a man to travel to Jilib towns, to remote towns. He has a town of Barawe and other towns that are his strongholds, that are his center. And if he needs some coordination and disciplining, or if he has an issue to deal with the Al-Shabaab governor in the lower Juba regions, he summons. He does not go there. What we need is, when we hear such reports, we need a backup. We need pictures. We need full reports on where, when. And besides, just yesterday, the man in question, Sheikh Ali Dere, has posted a 20-minute audio recording of his calling on the Somalis to unite against the Ethiopians who have recently only joined the AMISOM brigade.
All right. Well, Mohammed, thanks very much for those insights. Mohammed Hirmoge live with us here in studio.